Hello, everybody. My name is Sean Morrissey, and I am an electrical application engineer at Alpha Omega Product Development Systems. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you a few of the different results that you can produce in HFSS utilizing a Ansys example. So with that, let's get started. So here, this is the helix antenna model provided to you by Ansys, which I used in a previous video as well. It was the HPC video. But again, to access these, you just want to go to your desktop ribbon, go to Open Example, HFSS, and there's already a bunch of different examples here, but I went to antennas and I clicked on helical antenna. We could also have explored the RF microwave components folder, but you can do that in your own time by utilizing what you learn here. So I already ran this model before the video started. I think it's good it's good to know what kind of results you can produce within HFSS. So getting started, these are the ones that it pre-generates for you, such as the gain of this helix. This is an axial mode antenna or helical antenna. So the signal is going to travel along its main axis here. Actually, hold on. Here, so the mode of propagation is along its axis, which is really cool, high directivity. So you can see that here. Let's take a look at the radiation patterns for phi at 0 and then phi at 90. And of course, return loss. Here, this appears to be, let's find out, at X marker, has a deep resonance dip at around negative 18.42 dB. We're at 3.91 gigahertz, so it's pretty wide, not too narrow. We have our directivity here. You can look at this is a contour plot for our near E field horizontally, and then we can look at the vertical cut as well. Contour plots are very useful tool. And again, directivity this time over theta instead of over frequency. As you can see, it's very high directivity. We have our pointing. You can see, actually, I can bring up the family that's used. Or I suppose you can see how the distance varies. There's a few of the results here. I think a very important one to showcase as well are your field overlays. So you can actually plot mag E. Oh, of course, you have to select geometry. So let me select the helix. I'm going to plot fields, plot E. We're going to go mag E. Select done. And of course, it doesn't look like much right now. What I like to do is I like to modify this here. And I like to max out the number of divisions. Now, of course, this is going to depend on your hardware, but assuming you're able to run these complex models, this shouldn't be a problem for you. So I'm going to apply. And then something you can also do, okay, I'm going to apply again. And what I like to do is I like to double click on it, and you can actually animate from here. So animate this, and you can see how exactly it's propagating through the helix. So you can see it starts at the feed and it starts to work its way up there. You can increase the speed a little bit. I think this is a really cool animation, and it really helps, especially say if you're working on, through my own experience, if you're working on a patch antenna and you're trying to see how the signal or not the signal, excuse me, how the E field is moving throughout your patch. You can kind of pinpoint where you may need to incorporate stubs or any other useful information you can gather out of that. But what I love to do is I like to animate these and then export, and you can export as a GIF. And I throw these in PowerPoint slides. It just makes for a good presentation. So that is one result. I'm going to go ahead and delete this here. Yes. Now, of course, you can plot other fields here, EHJQ, or even other. Um, you can plot temperature, really interesting one. Let's go ahead and look at our mag H. Of course, I need to be selecting. This also helps with connector modeling and designing to make sure that you've modeled your connector correctly. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Now I just want to verify. Yeah, let's make this 250 for cleanest results. And then same thing here, right click, animate. So yeah, not too different, but still, it's a neat thing to showcase here. The correct way to actually plot this over frequency, this was my mistake, you want to make sure you are on the sweep solution. And then you are on frequency, and then we're going to go back to axial ratio, put this in dB, families, and again, we are going to select the appropriate values. Here I want 0, here I want 90. Good circular polarization is at that 3 dB mark. So that's what we are looking for. Helical antennas are naturally polarized, naturally circular polarized, which is very nice. So you can see we're near polarization. Oh, nope. At that 3.9 mark, where there is that wide resonance dip at S11, we see that it is circularly polarized. Doesn't seem to be too circularly polarizing anywhere else, but it is good to note that right along this path here, close to where the bandwidth of that dip was, yeah, these points are all circularly polarized. So this is a well-made antenna that Ansys has provided for you. So that's how you would plot your axial ratio. There are even more parameters that you can plot. I mean, there's a multitude of options. If you're looking for your radiation efficiency, new report, very efficient antenna, near 100% there. Good antenna, primarily you see above 75, above 65%. I mean, for patch antennas, anywhere around 75 is good. For a well-made one, anything above that, near 90%, is phenomenal. So that's how you would plot your radiation efficiency. Again, if you want to see the sweep of it, you would do the same exact thing that I had shown you in the last video, not video, in the last plot there, where you can see that it is a very highly efficient antenna around where their operating frequency is, it appears. So those are a few outside of the ones that are naturally plotted for you. However, one more important plot is that if you go to your rectangular plots here, you can see that you can plot a Smith chart. Let's grab our S parameters, and you can see that it plotted right away. If you want to have your start and end frequencies plotted, you can go to marker, add marker, your start, and that's not quite the end. So say if that happens, we accidentally clicked off there. You're just going to follow your cursor around. You can hold down the arrow keys to swiftly move these around, or even quicker, you can enter in the exact value you're looking for in the frequency. So say if you're trying to figure out what your impedance is at 2 gigahertz, apply, or not 2, that's out of scope. I meant, let's just say 3. There you go, perfect. That's how you would do it, and the same goes for the rest of these plots. Another good thing to utilize here, since we already have a marker. Let's say if you wanted to know the bandwidth between these two, or not bandwidth, the distance between these 2 points, and tells you the distance right there. So good way to get your delta markers out there, get more data points. And if you want all your raw data, you just right click on results, create report from file, and then you get a report data file. So those are some more results outside of these generated ones for you. I hope this has been helpful to you, and I hope you have a good day. Thank you.